Now at 4, you're going to notice a common theme across our coverage today: the cost to live in Central Florida. In many cases, it is going up, including in Seminole County, where people in charge are set to increase another tax.
And the statewide discussions happening as lawmakers try to figure out how to approach property taxes. But elsewhere in Central Florida, relief is on the way. The much needed pay bump for first responders in one Volusia County community. And
the new affordable housing option one step closer to opening in Orange County.
Streaming on clickorlando.com and broadcasting live, you're watching News 6 at 4 p.m.
But we begin tonight with a look at some new movement in the tropics.
Meteorologist Jonathan Kegas is here now. And Jonathan, what can you tell us about these two systems you're keeping an eye on right now?
Yeah, right now just keeping an eye on things. The one that's further out to sea, we're going to be watching that one, is actually likely going to make a turn back off towards the north and east and leave us alone. It's the one that's shaded in orange. You see that blobby area, if you will, drawn by the Hurricane Center. That's this right in through here. And again, that's where there's the medium shot in that development bubble area that the Hurricane Center has drawn for potential development. The wave itself is right here, and it's going to skirt the northern Caribbean over the next couple of days, and it's going to be in between the Turks and Caicos and Bahamas, where it might try to get its act together a little bit. With all likelihood, this should stay off of our shores as it lifts to the north and northeast, but there's going to be some complications in the steering flow. We'll talk more about what's actually steering it in a couple of minutes, but anytime you get two waves like this close by, one is going to impact the other. So there's some questions on which one impacts the other first and could change some of the trajectory. So there's some room for a little bit of shenanigans down the road. So just keeping a close eye on both of those waves. But again, cautiously optimistic that both of those stay off of our shoreline. Also tracking some homegrown thunderstorms tonight right along I-95 and then more along I-75. We'll likely see these two come together. We'll have your high-resolution future radar on this coming up at about 4:17, guys.
Jonathan, thank you. In the wake of Charlie Kirk's death, some cities and counties are putting forth efforts to memorialize the conservative activist.
After Kirk's death, Lake County Commissioner Anthony Sabatini posted on social media he wants to dedicate part of Wellness Way in Lake County from Highway 27 to the Orange County line to Charlie Kirk.
His proposed memorial was brought up at today's Lake County Commission meeting, and that's where we find Lake County community correspondent Emily McLeod today. And Emily, the discussion over the road dedication went on for hours this afternoon.
It was an incredibly lengthy discussion, and a lot of people who spoke at the meeting today, they're against this memorial for Charlie Kirk. Now, this is an extremely emotional topic of discussion that led to some extremely explosive moment inside the council chambers.
In these dark dystopian times, let's remember Deputy Link, and let's look at the
we at 3 minutes?
Unite and not divide us, and that includes you, Mr. Sabatini.
How dare you use that deputy's name for your petty political argument? How dare you?
All right.
How dare you?
All right.
Disgusting. You're a disgusting person.
Tensions were high during the discussion over the installation of a permanent memorial for Charlie Kirk on Wellness Way in Lake County. Some in the audience not holding back, almost escorted out by Lake County Sheriff's deputies.
Should we really? What? Come on, you're going to have to be removed. You can't yell things. You just can't yell things. If you're going to talk, you have to fill out a speaker card.
Critics of Commissioner Anthony Sabatini's proposal calling for memorials to be dedicated to people who directly impacted and served the county, like Master Deputy Bradley Link.
There are many, many, many great Lake Countyans that we can honor. And I'll tell you this, Charlie Kirk ain't one of them.
Ahead of public comment, Commissioner Leslie Campione sharing her thoughts on the topic.
There are ways to honor people, and while apparently some of you in the room and some people that have written emails to us disagree that he should be honored, I am one that believes that somebody like that should be honored.
Sabatini says Kirk has led the largest civic revival of any American in the last 50 years.
And so I don't think that any normal, sane person would ever speak out against naming a significant road after somebody as great as Charlie Kirk. It's not even a debate.
Yeah, so Toward the end of the meeting, while we were all sitting out in the lobby, 3 people, in fact, were escorted out of the meeting after we were filming inside the commission chambers. Commissioner Leslie Campione had said ahead of the vote that she wanted the vote to happen today because she never wanted to go through what they went through inside the commission chambers ever again. Now, I do want to say that Commissioner Sabatini changed his proposal. So rather than the memorial going on Wellness Way, this happened toward the end of the meeting, right before the vote, they decided to place the memorial at Schofield Road, and they voted unanimously to approve that memorial at the Schofield Road location. For now, reporting live in Tavares, I'm your Lake County community correspondent, Emily McLeod, News 6.
Emily, thank you. New details just in about a deadly officer-involved shooting in Orlando from last month. We told you on August 22nd, officers shot and killed a man who charged at them with a pair of scissors. This happened in Orlando's Creative Village. Orlando police released surveillance video of the incident, which they say shows Benjamin Hale run across Luminary Park, Green Park, and toward officers, and were called there because of a separate roommate dispute. Body cam video shows officers talking to one of the roommates when Hale runs past them, as officials say he was holding the scissors. It looks like he tries to enter a locked building when officers yell at him to drop the knife, again, not knowing that it was a pair of scissors. It's not clear from the officer's body cam video if he does drop them or not, and as Hale takes a step toward the officers, they open fire. We have paused the video before all of that happens. FDLE and the state attorney's office are conducting independent reviews of the incident. Now, we have been talking a lot lately about budgets, not only how it impacts what services counties and cities provide, like roads, parks, and public safety, but how much we pay for them.
And how the decisions being made right now impact your quality of life. Seminole County community correspondent Catherine Silver looks at a tax hike there as the commission meets for their final budget hearing tonight.
This was $250
to fill up your grocery cart.
Week. And this won't even be our dinner meals. This is just for my kids' lunches.
Anna Lillenquist is a mom of 4. Her husband works full-time. She watches the kids and cleans rental properties.
I just pick up odd and end jobs all the time, wherever I can.
Anything to make ends meet.
I saw family in there, 3 or 4 children. I'm going, my God, how's he affording all of this?
Gregory Krauser lives on a fixed income. He and his wife still feel lucky about what they can afford.
We know we're fortunate. We just worry.
These are just some of the stories, the people trying to get by and now getting ready to pay more property taxes. Commissioners here in Seminole County have a history of being fiscally conservative, but have told us before they've been relying on reserves for too long.
Our staff has been telling us for 2 or 3 years that this day was coming.
And as costs increase, the county has to keep up and plan for an uncertain future.
If you've ever been in a situation with our storms recently, roads and stormwater is a part of our public safety operation.
They call their decision not easy, but necessary.
Do we love the increase? No. Do I want higher taxes? No. Do I understand the need for it? Yes.
For nearly 2 decades, the property tax rate has remained the same. The county says with the new higher rate, the average homeowner can expect to pay about $144 more.
We got ours in the mail already, about ours going up, and then FPL went up 16%, and we're just waiting for our water bill to skyrocket as well. It does feel like it's all at once.
The county expects the tax hike will bring in $27 million more in revenue for its $1.2 billion budget. It won't be official until they vote here tonight. In Seminole County, I'm Catherine Silver, News 6.
Today, a Florida House Select Committee heard presentations from local government officials as it considers ideas for cutting property taxes. Governor DeSantis is pushing lawmakers to put a proposed constitutional amendment on the 2026 ballot to reduce or eliminate taxes on homesteaded properties. During the hearing, several city and county officials from across the state explained to the committee how they use property taxes. The Winter Haven city manager told lawmakers that many essential local government services rely on property taxes, though several lawmakers say the issue is that local governments have a spending problem.
We're committed to working with this committee and all stakeholders to find solutions that support both the fiscal health of our cities and the well-being of our residents who deserve high levels of service.
It's just not fair that we continue to squeeze our citizens instead of looking for ways to not spend money.
The panel plans to continue meeting during the upcoming legislative committee weeks ahead of the 2025 regular session that begins in January. Tomorrow, we'll learn more about the man who died after riding a roller coaster at Epic Universe. Civil rights attorney Ben Crump is representing the family of 32-year-old Kevin Zavala. He has planned a press conference for tomorrow. Crump is demanding the release of video, ride data, and more to understand the circumstances surrounding Zavala's death. Zavala was found unresponsive after riding the Stardust Racers ride and later died.
The 80th United Nations General Assembly kicked off in New York today. President Trump gave a lengthy speech covering domestic and foreign issues and did not hold back his complaints about the international body. CBS's Erica Brown has the latest from the White House.
In his address to the UN General Assembly Tuesday, President Trump declared the U.S. is in a golden age.
Under my leadership, energy costs are down, gasoline prices are down, grocery prices are down, mortgage rates are down, and inflation has been defeated.
He also dished out harsh criticism to the rest of the world.
Your countries are going to hell.
The president slammed migration and green energy policies, especially in Europe.
You're destroying your countries. They're being destroyed. Europe is in serious trouble.
During his nearly hour-long speech, President Trump said the United Nations was not living up to its potential and railed against its failure to end wars.
What is the purpose of the United Nations? For the most part, at least for now, all they seem to do is write a really strongly worded letter and then never follow that letter up. It's empty words, and empty words don't solve war.
On the sidelines, Trump met with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky as the war with Russia rages on.
Ukraine, I tell you, they are good fighters. Got to hand it to them. They have a lot of courage, a lot of guts.
The president pressed others to stop buying Russian energy, which he says Russia uses to fund the fighting, and got backing from the president of the European Commission.
But we have to be faster because every payment is filling Putin's war chest. This cannot be.
When asked, President Trump also said NATO member countries should shoot down Russian aircraft that enter their airspace. Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
Still to come, the big piece of history that could potentially be returned to a community.
News 6 Insider is sponsored by Orange County Library System.
What you working on?
No! I was trying to get the mailbox straight.
Oh, it looks straight to me.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah! Normally, you'd fix this by putting a couple of bags of concrete down in the hole, setting this in place and letting it dry. But hold on. I've been hearing about this stuff. I picked up a bag at the hardware store. It's foam in a bag that's supposed to be just like concrete. Perfect for projects like this, mailboxes and fence posts and even light posts. Nothing structural though. Let's give it a shot. Now before we do this, I just want to warn you, it goes super quick, and wear gloves because this stuff can be kind of messy. We're going to roll up the bag, we're going to mix the bag, cut the end, pour it in right away, and then set the mailbox right away. You only got 15 seconds to mix the stuff and then 10 seconds to straighten this out. Look for the arrows, roll up the bag just like a roll of toothpaste. Hear that pop? Now the liquid has mixed. We're gonna mix it on our knee. This is according to the instructions for 15 seconds. I know it's mixing because it's getting warm. Immediately cut open the bag so it doesn't explode. Pour it in. So the foam's expanding, it's starting to firm up. It's supposed to set in 3 minutes and then dry to full strength in just 2 hours. Once it is dry, instructions say to use a big knife to cut off the excess foam. And now, just cover it up with dirt or mulch. Wobbles a little bit, but at least it stays straight now, right? I think we got results at home.
Ginger, would you like to offer some tips on that product?
You got to be careful and you got to be fast. And I'm just speaking from experience. 15 seconds seems like a long time. So if you'd like to see that again or try it yourself, Eric has step-by-step instructions on clickorlando.com. Just look under the Getting Results at Home section. It scared me when he said what he was going to do. My husband tried to do it once. There was a huge blob that happened in our yard. We threw it all away.
How'd you get it out?
I didn't.
Wow. I wish there was some video of that.
She was sharing horror stories during that entire segment. You need to put your own step-by-step instructions on the web.
Have Eric do it is my tip for you.
That is a good advice. Jonathan Kagas standing by, tracking a little more rain on the radar tonight.
Yeah, we were talking about this yesterday, that our rain chances were going up for your Tuesday, and here we go. We've had some rain throughout the early afternoon along the Space Coast. We have storms that have developed along I-95 in Volusia County, kind of pushed back to the west a little bit, closer to us in Pearson, almost to Astor. And then we have the West Coast sea breeze firing up some thunderstorms closer to I-75. You can track these storms alongside me tonight by downloading the free News 6 weather app. You get a lot of tools and the bells and whistles that we use to track these storms again as these march inland along I-75 and also marching back to the west. We'll likely see some more storms fire up over the next couple of hours closer to I-4. There's 5 to 6 o'clock. Future radar, I think, has the right idea that everything kind of pushes back off to the west a little bit. That's 7 o'clock tonight, and then we'll watch things fizzle out. Tomorrow, I think we'll do it again at a lesser degree in terms of the storm opportunities we have out there. There's 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. I think most of us are on the drier side. And then once we get to the afternoon, we'll bubble up a few thunderstorms again. I think the motion, same deal from the coast back toward I-4 and then back to I-75. That's 7 o'clock on your Wednesday evening as we're watching those storms again push from east to west and try to fizzle out in between Orlando and I-75 again tomorrow. Cloudy shot here at the Space Coast. Live look. Launch Credit Union camera, Port Canaveral in Brevard County. Temperatures right now into the lower 80s. The breeze at about 5 to 10 miles an hour for us. We're at 86 in Titusville. You can clearly see where the rain has been coming down. We're at 78 degrees in Holopaw, Palm Bay. Good evening. We're at 75. Micco, we are at 76. And then blazing hot in Leesburg, we are at 93. Compare that, though, to just a short drive to Wildwood. We're back to 79 degrees. So it's one of those days where it all depends upon where you are. For that, here's a look at your forecast for tomorrow.
Your forecast is sponsored by Renewal by Andersen.
Temperatures tomorrow back into the low to mid 90s. So we're doing this summer thing as we're officially in fall. 40% shot for thunderstorms again tomorrow. So those rain chances again dialed back. We're back to around 90 along the coast, and again low to mid 90s through the I-4 corridor and points to the west. Tropics trying to heat up a little bit. That's one of our waves out there. Technically speaking, that's 93L. This is 94L. That's the terms again when the Hurricane Center wants to start running their models on these entities. We should have those soon to show you the specialized hurricane models, but we're concerned with, or at least watching the one closer here that's going to be working towards the Turks and Caicos and into the Bahamas, putting the models that we do have on these systems overlaid here. And again, here's the one that's riding low in the Caribbean. That's that orange shaded area. You still see the most want to turn this, and certainly the one that's further out, that one looks like for a certainty that's going to turn. The only deal is when you have two waves close together like that, there's always room for some shenanigans. There's also an unusual steering pattern. I'll show you what's going to try to steer these things further down the line coming up at about 4:47. So stick around for that. Again, it's a really weird and complex steering current for this time of the year. 40% shot on Wednesday tomorrow for storms. That'll go up a little bit Thursday and Friday into your weekend. We'll keep rain chances elevated into the early part of next work week.
Jonathan, thank you. After the break, I'll show you the big piece of one community's history that could soon be preserved for generations to come.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Light Orlando, delivering hope together.
This morning, News 6 was the first to tell you the town of Eatonville could possibly reclaim the historic Hungerford School site. The land, which is currently owned by the Orange County School District, has been at the center of a legal fight for years.
Yeah, but I learned a familiar charity is stepping in with a big plan for the future. The property sits at the corner of Hungerford and Keller Road and has been in the crosshairs of controversy for decades now. People who live there have heard promises before, and now they say they are ready for real change. So enter Dr. Phillips Charities, whose chairman tells me they've struck a deal to buy the 117 acres of the historic Hungerford property from Orange County Public Schools with the intention of returning it to the town of Eatonville.
We'll work very, very hard to make sure that there's little to no displacement of residents. We want to work with the mayor and her team to make sure that we increase the percentage of owner-occupied homes in this community, to stabilize this community, so that we protect the legacy and the history of Eatonville.
Now, the Orange County School Board is set to vote on this proposed deal next Tuesday, and of course, we will be at that school board meeting to bring you the latest.
Well, News 6 at 4, we'll be right back. Welcome back. We are following several top stories right now.
Lake County commissioners unanimously voted to approve renaming a road to honor conservative activist Charlie Kirk. The street is currently called Schofield Road. It didn't happen, though, without controversy. Several citizens voiced their concerns about honoring Kirk, and at one point, Lake County Commissioner Anthony Sabatini directed obscenities at a man who suggested naming a road for a fallen Lake County deputy, Bradley Link. We received new police body cam video in a deadly officer-involved shooting in Orlando last month. In the video, you can see officers shoot Benjamin Hale, who charged at them with a pair of scissors in Orlando's Creative Village. FDLE and the state attorney's office are conducting independent reviews of the incident. Seminole County leaders are looking at a property tax hike as part of its final budget hearing tonight. For nearly 2 decades, the tax rate has remained the same, but because of rising costs, the county has to keep up and plan for the future. The county expects a hike to bring in $27 million more in revenue for its more than $1 billion budget. Commissioners will hold the vote at tonight's meeting.
A big concern with affordability is wages not keeping up with increasing costs. Tonight, the New Smyrna Beach City Commission is taking up paying some of their bravest more money. News 6 was there last month as firefighters rallied for better wages, arguing they were one of the lowest in the state and were going to lose staff because of it. Volusia County Community Correspondent Molly Reed breaks down what is expected to happen tonight.
New Smyrna Beach fire leaders have been warning that 30% or more of their staff have applications into other higher paying agencies in Central Florida. And losing that much staff could lead to brownouts or temporary station closures. Now they have reached an agreement with the city that they hope can convince some to stay.
It's a step in the right direction. We feel like fixed compression.
If New Smyrna City Commission passes this budget, Fire Union leader Brandon Carroll says it will be a good starting point for fair pay.
Hopefully, our department becomes a little more marketable because ultimately we're still hiring.
Firefighters have been rallying for these changes. New Smyrna Fire Department just had 3 applicants in its last round. The fire union argues that the city's EMTs currently make $4,000 to $15,000 less annually than those in departments firefighters are applying to. But in their negotiations, the city manager has now agreed to an almost 20% raise across the board.
We put in the contract as well for lateral transfers when you come in with the pay matrix that me and us in the city come up with. They come in at a little bit higher steps.
Now, this contract would be good for 1 year. The city manager sent us a statement saying in part that public safety remains a top priority for the city commission and that nearly half of the city's general fund budget is dedicated to fire and police services. I'm your Volusia County Community Correspondent Molly Reed, News 6.
Wages not keeping up with price increases is also a concern, as many are finding it hard to afford a place to live.
The city of Orlando and Orange County officials say they have some solutions for affordable housing. As News 6's Laverne McGee tells us, they are hoping a new apartment building they are funding will help.
The CFO criticized Orange County for its budget and the use of taxpayer dollars. Well, we couldn't have created the Housing Trust Fund if we didn't pull it from somewhere. We didn't get it from the state of Florida. We got zero to assist with those efforts.
Mayor Jerry Deming says this new housing project would not be possible without a local housing trust fund that Orange County created back in 2019. These piles of dirt and sand will one day be a place for some people to call home. A groundbreaking was held this morning for Ivy Flats here at 30 South Ivy Lane in West Orlando, partially funded by taxpayer dollars.
By the time this construction is over, there'll be 137 new units here.
This initiative, we are allocating $2.1 million.
The developer and other partners like the City of Orlando will pick up the rest of the cost. According to Orlando Mayor Buddy Dyer,
affordable housing continues to be one of the most complex challenges that our community faces. And it's not just our community, really, it's a nationwide issue.
So how is the City of Orlando trying to fix the problem? Well, they're trying to increase the city's housing stock by working with developers, modernizing zoning, streamlining approvals, and offering incentives like fee waivers for developers. The City of Orlando is getting $1.6 million in transportation, parks, and school impact fees. As for those who will benefit the most,
we're going to continue growing this type of housing opportunity for seniors and for low-income families.
Residents earning at or below 80% of the area's median income are eligible to live here when it's complete. In Orlando, your community correspondent Laverne McGee, News 6.
We are following breaking news. The man accused of trying to assassinate President Trump at his South Florida golf course last year has been found guilty. Shortly after that verdict, He tried to stab himself in the neck with a pen. Ryan Routh, who represented himself, declined to take the stand in his own defense in federal court yesterday. Today, he was found guilty on all 5 charges, including attempted assassination of a major presidential candidate. Officers quickly swarmed him and dragged him out of the courthouse in Fort Pierce shortly after stabbing himself. Jurors deliberated for under 3 hours before delivering the verdict. Routh will be sentenced in December. He faces the possibility of life in prison.
A lockdown has been lifted at a Brevard County school after an issue near the building this morning. Titusville police got calls of gunshots being fired near Temple Baptist Church. Police say the school resource officer at the school heard them and placed the school on lockdown, but officials stressed no one was ever in any danger. And this all happened on the street in front of the school. Officials say the incident began in Mims and carried over into Titusville. Titusville police and the Brevard County Sheriff's Office are continuing to investigate exactly what happened. School safety was also top of mind in Volusia County today, where metal detectors were installed at Mainland High School this morning and will be turned on tomorrow. This is all part of the Volusia County Schools' plan to increase security at campuses across the district this year. Mainland is the 4th high school to get the metal detectors, with 6 more slated to get the additions in the coming weeks. We spoke with Daytona Beach's mayor about the metal detectors earlier today.
These are the times that we live in, and I don't think it's a bad thing. I actually think it's a good thing. It sends a message both to the kids and the outsiders. Schools are not places for violence or places where we're going to be subject to the dangers of gun violence, and it's just a sign of the times that we live in, and I think it's an appropriate response for the community.
The metal detectors are just one way the district is looking to increase safety this year. This is also the first year of a new behavioral threat unit to get those responsible for threats in handcuffs and prosecuted quickly. The district also implemented an AI gun detection system using cameras throughout schools.
Almost 3 years since Hurricane Ian wiped out parts of Sanford's marina, city leaders are finally moving forward with repairs. Last night, commissioners approved a contract to start the design and permitting work needed to rebuild the Riverwalk Marina. The project is expected to cost about $20 million, but FEMA has only agreed to cover a fraction of that, about $6.4 million for silt removal. That means local taxpayers could be on the hook for most of the costs.
We're just glad that this is finally happening, that we're finally making a move forward.
Right, and it took a while to get to here, so now that we're at this point, you're very grateful that we're making this next step.
Yes.
Right now, the design contract is worth about $1 million, which is just for design and permitting. City leaders say that phase alone could take a year before any construction begins. Meantime, Sanford city leaders also approved new rules for backyard chickens. Currently, chickens cannot be kept within 150 feet of any home, apartment, or garage apartment. Unless the property is far enough away from neighbors, then they are allowed to be within 25 feet. Tonight, the first reading for some new rules passed unanimously. It would allow chickens in residential areas designed for single-family homes. A second final vote will come after public comment in a few weeks. Backyard chickens have grown in popularity throughout Central Florida, and many cities have updated their rules. Earlier this month, Palm Bay City Council voted to increase the number of chickens people are allowed to have from 4 to 6.
SunRail commuters will likely soon feel the impacts of a big change.
This morning, Seminole County approved more than $11 million to keep the train running as local governments take over operations from the state.
News 6's Angie Casada takes a look at what this means for riders.
For daily commuters, SunRail is a lifeline, but now that counties and cities are going to be taking over, some are worried that local control could mean higher costs and more red tape. Every morning, Sidney Smith catches SunRail in Seminole County riding to his job in Orange County.
I think it's huge. I heard a guy talking, I normally take it most mornings. He was saying, I used to drive an hour and now I get to work an hour, and I do the similar thing.
Starting next year, the state hands operations over to Seminole, Orange, Osceola, and Volusia counties, along with the city of Orlando. Each will pay a share based on ridership. Seminole's bill is projected $11.5 million.
How is it going to impact me as a commuter? You know, is my cost of ticket going to go up? Are my taxes going to go up? Like, how are they going to end up paying for it?
Volusia will be about $6.5 million next year, but forecasted to increase each year. And Orlando's share is the highest at $18 million. Residents like Smith rely on affordable transit and hope local leaders can keep costs on track.
Because there's so many different parties being involved in like what's going into the train process, the different counties, everyone's not going to agree on the even scheduling of it overall, so it can cause a lot of trouble when there's a lot of heads at the table.
Reporting in Sanford, I'm Angie Casada, News 6.
All right, staying on track with the railroad theme now, Brightline has been a convenient option for many to travel to South Florida, but it hasn't been without controversy.
After the break, the new funding that could make the operation run a little safer. Jonathan.
We are pinpointing some thunderstorms, especially for us along I-75. A few more storms closer to I-95 and I-4. We're going to pinpoint where these are headed. We'll have a checkup on the tropics trying to bubble a little bit tonight. That's coming up at about 4:47.
You're watching News 6. Here's a live look now over downtown Orlando from our Light Orlando Delivering Hope camera. And before we head to break, we want to remind you to check out our primetime schedule on News 6 Plus. Matt and I have a new take on the day's news on News 6 tonight. That's at 9 o'clock. Then go in depth as we track the tropics and answer your weather questions at 9:30 with meteorologist Jonathan Kegas. Then watch the late news an hour earlier. It's all tonight on News 6 Plus.
And you can download our streaming app for free. Just search WKMG in your smart TV's app store. It's also available on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV.
We are following breaking news on the roads now, where part of I-75 in Sumter County is closed because a truck caught on fire, and you can see parts of it right there. We don't have a whole lot of information on exactly what happened, but you can see some smoke in that area and that truck on the side of the road. Of course, we're going to continue to keep a close eye on this and bring you updates as we learn more here on air and on clickorlando.com.
Yeah, they just pan that camera over and you can see
Yeah,
that thick
it's
black
very
smoke billowing
smoldering.
out of the truck. So looks like it's going to be some time before they're able to put that fire out and get
So
traffic
if you
moving.
know someone going that way, just let them be aware of that.
Well, it may be the fastest train in Florida, but Brightline has also become the deadliest railroad.
Less than 2 weeks since an 83-year-old lost her life in a crash with a train, Brightline will receive more than $42 million for more safety improvements.
Rockledge community correspondent James Sparvero has the opinion of a former conductor who's experienced tragedies on the rails himself.
I'm back at US 1 and Eyster Boulevard after that horrific crash when police say 83-year-old Eleanora Mitchell drove through a crossing arm into the path of a Brightline train. That was September 12th. Monday, the U.S. Department of Transportation announced Brightline will get $42 million for safety improvements like fencing, crossing upgrades, and crisis support signs for those considering suicide. The DOT says the grants were backlogged from the Biden administration. The oldest was issued 3 years ago before Brightline even started its Miami to Orlando service.
And people think often they can just beat the train. They're in a hurry. They got to get home or get to work.
Mike Callanan was an Amtrak conductor. I asked if he thinks the grants can help stop these tragic incidents. Brightline spent millions on safety in the county before trains ever ran through Brevard. Or do you think there's always going to be that element of driver error?
I think the money could be used to improve rail safety and train awareness. However, you can't really put money on just people using common sense and being aware of their surroundings. Brightline, unfortunately, has the highest rate of fatalities in the entire country of any railroad.
What's it like to have to live with going through one of these incidents yourself, knowing that it takes a mile to stop a train and there was nothing you could do?
So I myself have been involved in 3 of them. You remember it for the rest of your life. I mean, your train basically struck and killed a human being.
I wanted to interview Brightline for this story too, but when I asked, they directed me to their press release. In addition to the money the feds announced, local transportation officials have been working on making improvements at crossings too. You can read the full list from the Space Coast TPO on clickorlando.com. In Brevard County, I'm your Rockledge community correspondent, James Sparvero, News 6.
All right, time now for a look at our forecast, and it looks like things are firing up on the radar.
Oh, yeah.
Around this time of day, there's nothing unusual about that.
Not at all, yeah. Kind of back into our typical pattern, which has been kind of weird this year. We haven't seen many days like this where we do fire up both sea breezes pretty much right on cue. But here we are again, closer to the I-75 corridor. Webster, good evening. We have some heavier thunderstorms over us. Again, a lot of lightning, nothing severe or anything like that. But the rain is coming down pretty heavy as these continue to push to the east. Again, right over town right now. Taking you further south into parts of southern Sumter County, we're watching those storms again push from west to east. Taking it back up to I-4, we have one lone thunderstorm now. We're likely going to see more of these expand right up and down I-4 through the course of the evening. DeLand through Orange City, Lake Helen. We're watching this storm for you, Lake Helen. We're just on the outside. Same for us in Casadega. No doubt that the clouds are dark if you're looking just off to your north and west. DeLand, we are certainly getting the super heavy rain right now. We'll take you back out. I'm going to get you back over toward the I-75 corridor. Coleman, we're kind of right in between the stuff I just showed you guys in Bushnell, and then also closer to Denellen and parts of southern Marion County towards Bellevue as well. That's where we have our next cell coming through, working into the villages. Certainly on the north side of town, we're already seeing the heavier rain. That's going to continue to push in. Rest of the evening, we're going to try to push everything back to the west again, as the dominant flow should be from east to west. That's going to be 9 o'clock tonight. May still have a few thunderstorms lingering west of Orlando and closer to us along the I-75 corridor, where we have those thunderstorms right now. Now, tomorrow, I think we're going to be a little on the drier side. That's 8 o'clock on your Wednesday morning. I think everybody's dry. 2 o'clock in the afternoon, just a few thunderstorms trying to get rocking and rolling. And then as we get towards the evening, I think that's going to be our highest opportunity to see the storms. Although you see if everything quickly pushes back to the west and we're dealing with most of the stuff north and west of I-4 by the time we get into the evening. Here's a live look outside. No storms here. Beautifully blue skies through those puffy clouds out there. Live look in Daytona Beach tonight. tonight, air temperatures back into the mid-80s. The airport is reporting the thunderstorm. That's the one that's closer to the land. The breeze out of the north and east at about 10 to 15 miles an hour as we speak. High temperatures tomorrow, back into the upper 80s and lower 90s. For that, here's a look at your forecast.
Your forecast is sponsored by Ramjack.
Rain chances also checking in at 40%. On the tropical front, watching these two kind of twin tropical waves. This is the one that could eventually get a little closer to Florida. Again, the jury's still out on this one because there's going to be a pretty uncertain steering pattern. It's kind of weird for this time of the year. This little circle here, that's high pressure. That's steering that wave there, that little colorful thing. And then this wave here, we're kind of getting into the weeds a little bit, but I wanted to show you some of the things that are kind of steering these waves. The main thing that I wanted to show you is what's coming down the pipeline across the southern part of the United States. And where you see the blue here, this is what we call a trough. It's a big dip in the jet stream. The issue is it's not continuing to move. It's not progressive like we typically like them. It kind of curls up and you see this donut hole form. We call that a cutoff low. Here is the system right here, at least one of the systems in the GFS, that's the American model, wants to kind of merge the two. It's not going to form some superstorm or anything like that. They would kind of shear each other apart. But anyway, it's going to try to grab it and lift it back towards the U.S. The opportunity likely happens north of Florida, but the question is, where is that dip in the jet stream and where is that cutoff low by the time we get to Friday and to Saturday? So stay tuned for that. Again, that's really the main question here. Otherwise, this thing would go out to sea 100%. 40% shot for downpours as we move into tomorrow, 50% chance for storms Thursday, Friday, and right into your weekend, guys.
Jonathan, thank you. After the break, we are getting an inside look at what's being sent into orbit early tomorrow morning.
Coming up in the morning, fixing flooding in Volusia County.
Yeah, the local leader who says it's time for some real solutions and what he's planning to get feedback from those impacted the most.
Plus, it is getting busy in the tropics. Candace will have updates every 10 minutes.
We'll see you for News 6 Mornings starting at 6.
Well, during the week, you can check out Trooper Steve cruising around town in Results 1, but this weekend, you can catch him on a tandem bike at Cranes Roost Park in Altamont Springs. He'll ride with SunRail from XL 106.7. It's all part of the Red Bull Tandem roller coaster competition where 30 teams will be competing. This looks crazy. And while the goal is to finish the obstacle course without falling in, those who do not make it to the end still have the chance to win the People's Choice Award. And this is where they need your help because they're not going to win it. Go to clickorlando.com and click the link in this story. It will take you to the voting page. The name of their tandem bike is the Complaint Line. Click the picture and hit choose voting. Voting closes Thursday at midnight.
Tomorrow, a SpaceX launch will carry not one, but 3 spacecraft to study the sun, the Earth, and help pave the way for manned missions to the moon. One device will map what's known as the sun's bubble, taking measurements of the sun's solar wind. Another will use a small telescope to measure the outermost part of the Earth's atmosphere, providing data for astronauts as they leave Earth for the moon or Mars. And finally, a satellite will focus on the sun and serve as an early warning system for solar flares that can disrupt electronics, the electric grid, and even agriculture. All 3 devices will lift off tomorrow morning on a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket at 7:30. You can watch that launch live on clickorlando.com.
So much going on. News 6 at 5 is next.
Anchor Matt Austin is in the newsroom with what's ahead.
Well, the Daytona Beach mayor says a new facility means a long-term opportunity for families. Robots everywhere, humans too. We'll show you the new roles this center brings to Daytona Beach. And we're continuing to keep an eye on breaking news on the roads. Part of I-75 in Sumter County remains closed because a truck caught on fire. We'll keep an eye on this and keep you updated as we learn more at clickorlando.com.
That's
We're going to get down to
Now at 5, Eatonville's historic Hungerford property is set for a $1 million land deal that could reshape the town's future.
We have been neglected for years.
What's next for this landmark community? Plus, we sit down with former U.S. Surgeon General Dr. Antonia Novello. She's sounding the alarm on CDC vaccine changes and what parents need to know. And a facility the size of 11 football fields packed with hundreds of robots. We'll take you inside Amazon's brand new fulfillment center to see how a package moves from the shelf into your hands. You're watching News 6 at 5. We begin tonight with what could be a defining moment in the history of Eatonville. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Matt Austin.
And I'm Lisa Bell. Ginger Gadsden is here now with us with a story seen first here on News 6.
Yeah, Matt and Lisa, for decades, a piece of land at the heart of this historically black town has been the center of controversy and uncertainty. Now, a potential deal is in the works that could return 117 acres back to the town of Eatonville, preserving their land. Have heard promises before.
We have been neglected for years.
Longtime residents like Michelle Fort says she's ready to see real change.
We want better for our home. We don't want a handout. We want somebody to partner in to say, we believe in what you believe in.
Mayor Gardner says this deal is different.
Now we have a 100-year organization with a proven record of helping and partnering with communities that are saying, hey, we'll get it done for you.
Yeah.
That's huge.
That partner is Dr. Phillips Charities. Its chairman tells News 6 protecting Eatonville's legacy means more than just buying land.
We'll work very, very hard to make sure that there's little to no displacement of residents. We want to work with the mayor and her team to make sure that we increase the percentage of owner-occupied homes in this community, to stabilize this community, so that we protect the legacy and the history of Eatonville.
Under the agreement, Dr. Phillips Charities will pay $1 million up front. The rest of the purchase price is forgiven as milestones are completed.
This is more than a land deal. This is a legacy.
And it is a big deal for this community because this has been, we say decades, it has been generations in the works. We forget that this started out as 300 acres of property and it's been parceled away to now the 117 acres. And the people of Eatonville say they want something that stays in place that is for them so this community is not lost to history.
And when the Hungerford family donated that property, its intent was to obviously stay in the community and benefit the educational endeavors of people in that community. Yes.
Yeah.
So this seems like it fits that bill.
Yeah, they'll have several things going on, and we will continue to follow this process every step of the way. Of course, the Orange County School Board is set to vote next Tuesday on this deal, and then the town of Eatonville and Dr. Phillips Charity will move forward from there. As for Mayor Gardner, she says she is ready to turn years of anticipation into action.
Man, finally get this thing going.
Yeah.
It has been a long
lot
wait
of people
for
are
those
happy
folks.
to see it happen.
All right, Ginger, good stuff. Thank you.
We do want to take a live look at our Launch Credit Union Port Cam at Port Canaveral.
Yeah, we want to start with the tropics here because there are some things brewing. Not sure that they're headed for us yet. Meteorologist Jonathan Kegas joins us now to explain what's going on out there, Jonathan.
Yeah, just watching a couple of things. Yeah, there's no imminent threat to Florida by any means right here. Certainly the one with a higher opportunity for development in the short term here. That's this wave that's hanging out in the central Atlantic in the red shaded area. That's where it has the potential development zone as drawn by the Hurricane Center. That one's going to go up and out, but it could influence the one hanging off towards the south and west. That's the one that's kind of entering the Northeast Caribbean as we speak in its development zone here, where it has the potential to become at least a tropical depression closer to the Turks and Caicos, Bahamas, and then off the Florida coastline. And that's why there's a little bit of muddiness, if you will, in the water going forward, because this trailing wave is likely going to influence the directions. There's a lot of uncertainty, more than normal, on where this guy ends up as it moves forward over the next couple of days. Current modeling on both, again, there's that quick turn closer to Bermuda, a track very, very similar to what Gabrielle just took. But you see the one down here closer to the Caribbean. Again, all these lines represent the uncertainty. There are some that continue to take it towards the Caribbean, some that fling it out, and some that get it closer towards the western side of the Bahamas. There's a lot of things that are unclear right now. Hurricane Hunter missions into that system start tomorrow, so we're going to learn a lot more about about the environment that the system's currently in and moving into, and hopefully getting more clarity on what's actually steering this thing. A couple of downpours and thunderstorms out there right now, closer to I-4, then also some fizzling out closer to I-75. We'll track where these guys are headed coming up at about 5:17.
Jonathan, thank you. We are following a breaking traffic alert right now as we take a live look from our DOT cam along I-75 southbound at mile marker 305, showing a truck fire. This is in Hernando County, right off the border of Sumter County. We're told all southbound lanes are closed right now as crews respond to this scene. You can see traffic is getting by slowly in the northbound lanes right now. There are no reports of injuries. A crackdown on nitrous oxide. First Lady Casey DeSantis and Lieutenant Governor Jay Collins were in Orlando this afternoon to announce nearly 70 felony arrests in an ongoing effort to curb the sale of the colorless gas.
Yeah, our Orlando community correspondent Mike Valenti was there for this announcement and joins us live outside FDLE's Orlando Regional Operational Center. So, Mike, these are sold usually at smoke shops, right?
Yeah, Matt, that's right. And not only that, we know that some employees at smoke shops in Central Florida have been swept up in this crackdown operation by Florida's Division of Alcoholic Beverages and Tobacco. In the state of Florida, it is illegal to distribute or sell 16 grams or more of nitrous oxide, which is often known as laughing gas and can be used for culinary purposes like making whipped cream fluffy. But it is also often abused by people looking to get high. Earlier this month, we reported about 2 employees at separate smoke shops in Orlando being arrested after authorities conducted an undercover sting, and they alleged that the employees advised the undercover officers on how to use the products to get high. At the press conference today, I asked the ABT director about the ubiquity of these products. I know there are legitimate purposes to this, but a lot of people are probably wondering, why are they on the shelves of smoke shops? Because just having them there, the implicit understanding is that people are going to walk in, they're not buying them to make whipped cream fluffy, they're buying them for inhalation. So is there anything that you can do? Would it be lowering that legal threshold from 16 grams to ensure that people aren't buying it for that purpose?
Yeah, that would take legislation.
Hey, do you think that's necessary?
It could be looked at and addressed, yes, because you're right. One thing is, why is there nitrous oxide being sold in a smoke shop? I'm sure the dentist doesn't go by there to the smoke shop to get his nitrous oxide for dentistry. An automotive shop doesn't go there, and neither does a chef or a cook. So you're right. It's obvious. It's the elephant in the room.
The elephant in the room, the ABT director says. You may remember back in February, we spoke with a family who lost a loved one, 29-year-old Meg Caldwell from Lake County. She overdosed after inhaling nitrous oxide. She had battled a crippling addiction with nitrous oxide, died in 2024. Her family sued smoke shops in Central Florida as well as manufacturers of nitrous oxide. And one of Meg's sisters was here at that press conference. She made an emotional plea to try to make sure that her family story resonates with people, show that this touches a lot of lives and that nitrous oxide is indeed dangerous and took a loved one like Meg Caldwell. More from her tonight at 10 and 11. We're live outside the FDLE office in Orlando. I'm your Orlando community correspondent, Mike Valenti, News 6.
Mike, you asked the question everybody was thinking. Thank you very much for that. All right, well, 2 common childhood vaccines are being examined by the CDC, the hepatitis B shot and the combined MMRV shot. Any changes could alter insurance coverage and cast doubt on their safety and efficacy.
I sat down with the former U.S. Surgeon General under the George H.W. Bush administration. She lives in Orlando and has a warning for parents.
The beauty that we enjoy today is because of the vaccines that were given to us in the past.
The 14th U.S. Surgeon General, Dr. Antonia Novello, says she has seen firsthand the benefits of childhood immunizations.
I am a pediatrician. I've taken care of too many sick children that come to me because they just by no choice of their own got sick. But to get sick and die because somebody said that a vaccine has to be questioned, when basically the first question they should be asked is, did you get vaccinations when you were a child? So at this moment, I have the feeling, don't trust just one opinion. Trust the opinions of people who have been in this for years.
Earlier this year, Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. fired all the previous panel members on the CDC's Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices and handpicked their replacements, some who share his vaccine skepticism. The latest proposal from the committee, children under 4 should get one shot for measles, mumps, and rubella, then a separate one for varicella or chickenpox. The panel is also debating changes to the hepatitis B vaccine recommendation.
Much of the data is considered pretty settled.
Dr. Jody Guest is the senior vice chair of the Department of Epidemiology at Emory University. She, too, says these vaccines are safe and effective.
And there's not new evidence out there that we have been following that would show that you would want to change the guidance.
What are your plans for future vaccines?
We're not too sure yet.
In Fort Myers, first-time father Brandon Gonsalves decided against vaccinating his newborn for hepatitis B, which the CDC currently recommends be done at birth.
We're not entirely sure what route we're going to go yet.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Pediatrician David Butler worries some families are making vaccine decisions based on politics or online research.
Me, myself, all of my colleagues, all we want to do is provide the best care we can for your child. They have their minds made up before they come in.
Well, it seems to me that we need more information and not more disinformation. As long as we take things just for what they say, we are as part of the problem as of the solution.
Now, doctors warn any changes in vaccine recommendations could lead to health insurance companies limiting coverage. Still to come, a heated debate over the proposed gas tax in Lake County.
What comes next after a vote comes up short. Plus, the mayor says this is a milestone for local families. We take you inside an Amazon hub filled with robots and 1,000 new jobs.
Today's Port Canaveral Cam is sponsored by Launch Credit Union.
People in Volusia County can expect to get their Amazon orders a little quicker now, all thanks to a brand new warehouse in Daytona Beach.
News 6's Alex Cook got a behind-the-scenes look at the new fulfillment center and spoke to the mayor about the jobs that's bringing to the area.
I'm in Daytona Beach at Amazon's brand new robotics fulfillment center. This facility is the size of 11 football fields and filled with hundreds of robots that package and sort your Amazon deliveries. Not only that, Amazon says that over 1,000 human jobs are created thanks to this facility. 800,000 packages a day. That's what the massive Amazon Robotics Fulfillment Center is capable of. 800,000 people expecting their deliveries on time. Andrew Jaworski, the general manager of the new facility, walked through the journey a package takes after you order it before it makes it to your doorstep. It starts when new products are shipped into the warehouse.
We open up all these cases and then we place these items in a conveyable tote going up into our robotic storage platform.
Upstairs, hundreds of robots shuffle the merchandise around to get everything where it needs to go.
As soon as you hit buy on Amazon.com, that order generates to the site here, and we have our first picker pick that item out, place it in a destination tote, which will then get routed to our pack department.
Now they know where the order goes. All that's left is to pack it up.
These items are then taken individually from the totes where they were packed out and put into packaging that's meant for that specific item.
And send it out.
But each of those carts are going to be placed in a trailer and then arrive at that destination facility sometime today.
800,000 times. Daytona Beach Mayor Derek Henry, who cut the ribbon on today's opening ceremony, says that's not the important number. To him, it's about bringing over 1,000 jobs to his city.
The enormity of the number of jobs cannot be overstated. It just sends a ripple effect. Hopefully others will come and see us as a viable space.
In Daytona Beach, Alex Cook, News 6.
It's a massive facility.
Still amazes me how I can order toothpaste and get it in the same day, delivered right to my door. It's crazy. All right, Jonathan Kagas, he's delivering a radar right to your doorstep with some rain on there, huh?
Absolutely, yeah. You can get something instantly, too. That free News 6 weather app to track these storms, that's going to be even faster than those Amazon packages. Again, that's going to be a free download. There it is right there. You can track these storms alongside me. If you're heading out to dinner tonight, you can watch and just do a little bit of dodging tonight. Not too widespread at the moment. We'll likely see storms increase along to the west of I-4 over the next couple of hours. Right now, the storm's on a weakening trend that we're hanging out around I-75, again, pushing just to the east now of the villages, east of Coleman, east of Bushnell, southeast of Webster as well. Deltona, we're still hanging out with a few of those downpours in the mix. Otherwise, we're starting to quiet things down a little bit, where we did have earlier thunderstorms and some heavier rain closer to the Space Coast. Taking through the next several hours here, we will likely watch those storms push off to the west and then eventually fizzle out as we get towards that 8-9 o'clock hour. The sky's a little on the darker side as we're watching some of those puffy cumulus clouds continue to work their way up through the atmosphere. It's a live look in downtown Orlando with our Light Orlando Delivering Hope Sky Cam tonight. Air temperatures back to the upper 80s. The breeze out of the east-southeast right now at about 10 to 15 miles an hour. And we're going to keep things pretty muggy over the next couple of days as well. For that, here's a look at your pinpoint accurate forecast.
Your forecast is sponsored by Payne Law.
Temperatures tomorrow get back to around 90 degrees along the coast, more like the low to mid 90s the further inland you're at, to 92 in Orlando. Mount Dora, good evening. We're at 94 tomorrow. Bushnell, we're checking in at 94 as well. Groveland, we'll be back into the low to mid 90s as we watch those storms again try to fire up. Titusville into Mims, think we're starting things off muggy. We're back to the mid 70s by 8 o'clock in the morning. Golf time tomorrow, I think we're looking pretty good. Again, 83 degrees by 10, 88 by lunchtime, 88 degrees still by 2 o'clock with rain chances starting to tick up a little bit. I think our chances come early, and then those will gradually leave us alone as things start to work along the Atlantic coast and then push inland throughout the day. Tropical front, again, that's the buzz right now, and we're watching two tropical waves. There's still Gabrielle. That, by the way, that's still a Category 4 hurricane as it's working its way up and out through the north and central Atlantic. These two waves are the ones we're watching. The second one here that's further out into the Atlantic, this is the area the Hurricane Center has drawn, again, for the potential development area. The red means the high chance for development. This one's going to stay up and out. It's this wave that we're watching because the development zone is a little closer to home through the Turks and Caicos into the Bahamas and then close to the southeast corner of the United States. A little bit of uncertainty with that one because we're trying to figure out what's going to happen, how this influences. The back one here influences the steering. That adds a degree of difficulty. Hurricane Hunter is getting up into this area tomorrow to help get better data into what is actually going to steer this. There's also a dip in the jet stream across the southeast corner of the United States that might actually help to tug it a little bit closer to land. So a few things to iron out that we necessarily don't have to deal with all the time. It's kind of rare to have two waves this close together. But they're the modeling on the back wave there. That one goes up and out. That one's a non-issue, but it likely impact the intensity and the track of the wave that's impacting the Caribbean now. So again, cautiously optimistic this one turns before Florida, but there could be some shenanigans because of the steering influence from the trailing wave. 50% shot for storms as we get into Thursday and Friday, 60% chance for storms as we start your weekend, guys.
Jonathan, thank you. With so many firefighters looking to leave, the city of New Smyrna Beach is stepping up.
Still to come, details on a new pay agreement. And before you rent a car, learn why your insurance and credit card might leave you exposed to costly fees. What every renter must ask first. That's coming up next.
Many of us have faced this question when renting a car. Spend the extra money on the rental car company's insurance or waive it. First, whether it's your own car or a rental, the law requires liability insurance, coverage for damages and injuries you are, quote, liable for while driving any vehicle. However, having liability insurance does not cover damage to the rental car. Another part of your personal policy that will cover physical damage to the rental is optional collision and comprehensive, covering things like accidents, thefts, and vandalism. If you don't have this on your vehicle, the rental car company will sell it to you as a waiver or supplemental coverage. However, if you get into a crash and that vehicle is taken out of service, the rental car company can hit you with loss of use and diminished value. You can also be hit with administrative fees. Those charges usually aren't covered by your personal car insurance and could come out of your own pocket. The caveat? Loss of use and certain administrative fees are often covered by your credit card company if you use a premium travel card like an Amex Platinum, Chase Sapphire, or Capital One Venture X card. But that risk of diminished value is almost never covered by your credit card or your personal car insurance. So, what's the bottom line? Before you get anywhere near a rental car company, call your insurance company and ask about damage waivers. And do the same with the company behind the credit card you plan on using. I'm News 6 investigator Donovan Myrie.
On Saturday, Trooper Steve stepping out to get results to hop on a tandem bike at Cranes Roost Park in Altamont Springs. He's going to ride with SunRail from XL 1067. 30 teams will compete in the Red Bull Tandem roller coaster competition. Event details are on clickorlando.com. And while the goal is to finish the obstacle course without falling, we all know that's not going to happen. Those who don't make it to the end have a chance to win the People's Choice Award. This is where Steve and SunRail need your help. Go to clickorlando.com, click the link in this story. It'll take you to the voting page. The name of their tandem bike is the Complaint Line. Click the picture and hit choose. Voting closes Thursday at midnight. Kissimmee's Sacred Alchemy Healing Spa nearly closed after the pandemic. Now a new city grant could help save small businesses still struggling.
It's a blessing because it's very difficult. It's very difficult. A lot of us have not recuperated yet.
Details on how to apply for relief grants coming up.
Lake County commissioners reject a 5-cent gas tax increase after a fiery debate. What this means for local road repairs.
Glad you're with us. I'm Lisa Bell.
I'm Matt Austin. You're watching News 6 at 5. We are following several top stories right now. The town of Eatonville could reclaim the historic Hungerford School site. Right now, the land is owned by Orange County Public Schools, and it has been at the center of a legal fight for years. Dr. Phillips Charities, whose chairman tells us they've struck a deal to buy that 117 acres of property from the district with the intention of returning it to the town of Eatonville. The Orange County School Board is set to vote on that proposed deal next Tuesday.
A crackdown on nitrous oxide. First Lady Casey DeSantis and Lieutenant Governor Jay Collins were in Orlando this afternoon to announce nearly 70 felony arrests in an ongoing effort to curb the sale of the colorless gas sold at smoke shops. In the state of Florida, it is illegal to distribute or sell 16 grams or more of nitrous oxide and is often abused by people looking to get high. A man who tried to kill President Trump stabbed himself in the neck with a pen this afternoon in a Fort Pierce courtroom. 59-year-old Ryan Ruth was reacting to a jury's decision finding him guilty on all counts. Ruth does not appear to have been injured. Prosecutors say he planned to shoot the president at the Trump International Golf Club in West Palm Beach.
Taking a live look over downtown Orlando. This is from our Light Orlando camera.
Meteorologist Jonathan Kagis is tracking some rain on the radar right now. Certainly some pretty gray clouds out there in spots as well, Jonathan.
Yeah, we're watching some things fill in west of Orlando. That's likely what you were looking at there, especially as we see just south of Lake Apopka, closer to Ocoee and Winter Garden tonight. There we go, right around, right in between Winter Garden and Oakland. We have that downpour right on the turnpike there. We're dry in Claremont, Montverde. We do have some lighter downpours just off towards our west. The stronger stuff that we were tracking for you guys in Bushnell and Webster, that has kind of pushed off to the south and east a little bit. We also have that healthy thunderstorm we've been watching for you guys around DeLand and Casadega and to Lake Helen. We have those downpours kind of expanding down I-4 right now. Still to the west of us in Sanford, closer to Heathrow, Lake Mary, some light showers around, but we do have a little bit of lightning again associated with that storm that's developing as it works its way back from northeast to southwest. We're dry tonight, at least for the rest of the night, from Daytona Beach into New Smyrna. We have a couple of very, very light showers still hanging on around Micco. These are going to continue to push back out to sea and leave us alone for the next couple of hours. Then we'll try to fire some things up again tomorrow. 7 o'clock this evening, again, rain chances still pretty elevated, especially around Orlando and points to the west, along and west of I-4. And then we'll gradually dial back those rain chances tonight as everything kind of pushes back towards the Gulf Coast. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. We'll go by hour by hour with high-resolution future radar to plan the next couple of days, and also talk tropics coming up at about 5:47, guys.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. Keeping an eye on a breaking traffic alert in Hernando County, right on the border of Sumter County. Here's a live look from our DOT cam from I-75 southbound. This is near mile marker 305. Crews are working to contain a truck fire. They've been working on this for about an hour now. We're told all southbound lanes are closed and traffic is getting by in the northbound lanes. There are no reported injuries.
Well, does it feel like everything is just getting more expensive these days? Well, a number of counties have at least talked about increasing their gas taxes too, including Lake County. Leaders there were looking to increase their current gas tax from 7 cents per gallon all the way up to 12. Lake County community correspondent Emily McLeod was in today's commission meeting where things got heated.
The proposed gas tax increase in Lake County ultimately failing with a 3-2 vote, but commissioners in favor of the increase did not go down without a fight. The proposed 5-cent gas tax would have gone toward road resurfacing here in Lake County. Commissioners Sean Parks, Timothy Morris, and Kirby Smith were in favor of that increase, but Commissioners Leslie Campione and Anthony Sabatini voted against it despite several public comments in favor of the increase and despite Commissioner Parks' proposal to lower the millage rate should this pass. Ahead of the vote, there were some heated moments of debate among the board.
We know where everybody's going to vote.
Well, we got more comments too.
Yeah, just a little more. Just a few more.
I mean, really? Yeah. Really?
Yeah, no, I think this is important to have it on the record.
Who are you trying to persuade on the 5-person board at this point?
I'm trying to persuade one of you two.
Okay. Well, I'm not persuaded.
Tuesday's vote needed a super majority, a 4-to-1 vote in order for the gas tax increase to go through. Commissioners did not move forward with making this item a referendum on a ballot. They simply ended the discussion, at least for now. Reporting in Tavares, I'm your Lake County community correspondent, Emily McLeod, News 6.
Emily, thank you. New Smyrna Beach City Commission is taking up the issue of firefighter pay. News 6 was there last month as firefighters rallied for better wages, arguing they were one of the lowest in the state and were going to lose staff because of it. Our Volusia County community correspondent Molly Reed is following the issue and breaks down what is expected to happen tonight.
New Smyrna Beach fire leaders have been warning that 30% or more of their staff have applications into other higher paying agencies in Central Florida. And losing that much staff could lead to brownouts or temporary station closures. Now they have reached an agreement with the city that they hope can convince them to stay.
It's a step in the right direction. We feel like fixed compression.
If New Smyrna City Commission passes this budget, fire union leader Brandon Carroll says it will be a good starting point for fair pay.
Hopefully our department becomes a little more marketable because ultimately we're still hiring.
Firefighters have been rallying for these changes. New Smyrna Fire Department just had 3 applicants in its last round. The fire union argues that the city's EMTs currently make $4,000 to $15,000 less annually than those in departments firefighters are applying to. But in their negotiations, the city manager has now agreed to an almost 20% raise across the board.
We put in the contract as well for lateral transfers when you come in with the pay matrix that me and us in the city come up with. They come in at a little bit higher steps.
Now, this contract would be good for 1 year. The city manager sent us a statement saying in part that public safety remains a top priority for the city commission and that nearly half of the city's general fund budget is dedicated to fire and police services. I'm your Volusia County community correspondent Molly Reed, News 6.
Well, across Central Florida, many are finding it hard to afford a place to live. The city of Orlando and Orange County officials say they have some solutions for affordable housing. As community correspondent Laverne McGee tells us, they're hoping a new apartment building might help.
The CFO criticized Orange County for its budget and the use of taxpayer dollars. Well, we couldn't have created the Housing Trust Fund if we didn't pull it from somewhere. We didn't get it from the state of Florida. We got zero to assist with those efforts.
Mayor Jerry Deming says this new housing project would not be possible without a local housing trust fund that Orange County created back in 2019. These piles of dirt and sand will one day be a place for some people to call home. A groundbreaking was held this morning for Ivy Flats here at 30 South Ivy Lane in West Orlando, partially funded by taxpayer dollars.
By the time this construction is over, there'll be 137 new units here.
This initiative, we are allocating $2.1 million.
The developer and other partners like the City of Orlando will pick up the rest of the cost. According to Orlando Mayor Buddy Dyer,
affordable housing continues to be one of the most complex challenges that our community faces. And it's not just our community, really, it's a nationwide issue.
So how is the City of Orlando trying to fix the problem? Well, they're trying to increase the city's housing stock by working with developers, modernizing zoning, streamlining approvals, and offering incentives like fee waivers for developers. The City of Orlando is getting $1.6 million in transportation, parks, and school impact fees. As for those who will benefit the most,
we're going to continue growing this type of housing opportunity for seniors and for low-income families.
Residents earning at or below 80% of the area's median income are eligible to live here when it's complete. In Orlando, your community correspondent Laverne McGee, News 6.
5, Florida pharmacists can now give COVID-19 vaccines to patients. The state's Board of Pharmacy made the decision during a meeting today. The board points to state law, which allows pharmacists to give any FDA-approved vaccine. There is one catch. Pharmacists need a physician's protocol to give the shots. The decision comes as debate continues over COVID vaccines. Florida's Surgeon General Joseph Ladapo has been an outspoken critic of the vaccine, and U.S. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has also drawn attention to the issue. 5 years later, some small businesses are still struggling to bounce back from the COVID-19 pandemic. To support them and boost the local economy, Kissimmee is offering relief grants. Our Kissimmee community correspondent Stephanie Rodriguez met one business owner who is planning to apply.
The business owner I spoke with tells me it's been hard to build her business back to what it once was. So this is welcome news.
So we're all about metaphysical healing.
Since 2015, Sacred Alchemy Healing Spa has been a place for spiritual services in Kissimmee.
I'm a third-generation herbalist.
It's also a business that's struggled since the pandemic.
It was very hard. We couldn't really regain the full clientele. You know, life had changed for everyone financially, emotionally. You know, it was basically the essential things that they needed.
A small business grant from the city would help her immensely, like the COVID relief one she received in 2021.
And if it wasn't for that grant, I wouldn't have survived. You know, was able to remarket, you know, try to strategically figure out how to promote my business from where we were at now. So that grant saved me.
Now Ethier has an opportunity to get more help. Kissimmee is offering a relief grant to small businesses still feeling the impact of the pandemic. Eligible businesses include those that saw a decrease in revenue between 2020 and 2023 compared to 2019, had increased operating costs, think rent, insurance, and inventory, and those that have pandemic-related debt affecting cash flow.
It's a blessing because it's very difficult. You know, it's very difficult. A lot of us have not recuperated yet.
We have a link to apply for the relief grant at clickorlando.com. I'm your Kissimmee community correspondent, Stephanie Rodriguez, News 6.
Well, Florida's public universities hit a new high.
In minutes, the U.S. News top public universities in the 2026 rankings.
And tonight, try out the all-new primetime schedule on News 6 Plus. It's a new take on the day's news on News 6 at 9. And then go in depth as we track the tropics and answer your weather-related questions with meteorologist Jonathan Kagas at 9:30. Then watch the late news an hour early. Download that streaming app for free. Search WKMG in your smart TV's app store. It's also available on Roku, Apple, and Fire.
New data tonight from air quality monitors placed strategically across parts of Orange County show the air you breathe has gotten worse, especially in underserved communities like Paramore.
Your Orange County community correspondent Jana Manohalal is digging into the new information and the fix for bad air.
Gloria Steinem was born and raised in Paramore. She never smoked, yet she developed severe breathing problems after decades of living here.
I'm using inhalers now as we speak because I'm sure it's due to the quality of the air.
Steinem didn't feel comfortable showing her face on camera due to the sensitivity of the issue, but her experience isn't isolated. Activist Luana Gelzer says spikes in pollution have made it routine for vulnerable residents to stay indoors.
We're looking at it daily to see what caused a surge in the particular areas that we're tracking.
Luana and her team installed air quality monitors this year, capturing neighborhood-level data in 14 underserved neighborhoods, like Paramore, Tangelo Park, and Pine Hills, to prove to council members there are dangerous peaks of air quality. Now Gelzer holds community meetings to educate people on what to ask for from their government, like plans that are designed to absorb emissions.
I cannot name all the different shrubberies for you, but we have a list that we can provide to our the different organizations, but we also give that to our communities, people that they can plant in their yard to make them aware.
For Gloria Steinem and many in Paramore, better air isn't just a policy, but a better quality of life.
I don't want to die from, and whatever my end is, if me speaking to you can help somebody else or help us get this all cleaned up, because I believe it's still contamination.
Gelzer's next community meeting is tonight at 6 p.m., where she will address the newest pollution data, and we've put the information on clickorlando.com. I'm your Orange County community correspondent, Jana Manahalal, News 6.
All right, let's get a check of your weather right now with meteorologist Jonathan Kegas, and we do have some storms out there tonight.
We do, just a couple out there tonight, but just an early heads up again if you're heading around I-4. That's where we're seeing things increase right on schedule here, just along into the west of I-4. This is the storm that we've been watching since it's been around the land over the last hour or so. You can track these storms again with the free News 6 weather app. It'll give you lightning detection as well. Just had to go off on my phone as well as we're watching some storms closer to the station. These are pretty much taking a trip right down I-4 tonight. We have more storms bubbling up over Zellwood, closer to the west side of Apopka as well. Tangerine, good evening. We have some storms close by. Sorrento, we are dry now, but you see the coverage again increasing here as the west coast sea breeze pushes inland a little bit, helping to fire up those storms closer to Ocoee, Winter Garden tonight. Oakland, we're dry right now. The downpour is very close. It is moving away from us closer towards the Orlando metro area. Zoom things back out again to show you the full picture. A lot of this is trying to concentrate down closer to Lakeland and Polk City into Polk County. Most of that just stay down there. But again, watching things kind of like unzip a little bit right up and down I-4. I think we're on the drier side for the rest of the evening, though, closer to the I-95 corridor. Pinpointing that for you here. I think Future Radar has the right idea by pushing everything back to the west again as we get deeper into the evening. That's 8 to 9 o'clock tonight. Then I think we'll gradually wind things down as we get beyond 9 to 10 o'clock. There's 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. I think we start things out dry. We'll fire up a few more thunderstorms into the early afternoon. Rain chances tomorrow at about 40%, so dialing back rain chances just a little bit in comparison to today. That's 7 o'clock on your Wednesday evening with a few more storms hanging around the I-75 corridor. Same down the Florida Turnpike closer to us in Osceola through Polk counties as well. Midnight on Thursday morning, we're looking pretty good with things fizzling out. A cool shot here. You can see the thunderstorm is trying to fire up in the distance, some darker clouds closer to the surface, and then those higher wispy clouds from those storms that are further back to the west that we had to deal with closer to the I-75 corridor. Really cool shot here through Daytona Beach again. Air temperatures back into the lower 80s. The breeze out of the east-northeast at about 10 miles an hour. Now here's a look at tomorrow.
Your forecast is sponsored by Publix.
Rain chances at 40%, still hot and muggy, back to around 90 on the coast, low to mid 90s in Orlando. We're at 92 degrees in Kissimmee. Good evening in Holopah. We're also at 92. Denellen, we're going to check in at around 93 degrees tomorrow. On the tropical front, there are those two twin waves out there. We have the one out in the central Atlantic. That's the one further away. The one relatively closer to home, at least closer to the Caribbean right now. That's the one we're going to watch. Both of these should turn before Florida. The United States is certainly still in play from the southern one, but nonetheless, I want to show you the steering current again. It's convoluted, it's complex. That big circle right there, that's the Bermuda High Pressure Center that's going to be steering these two waves. Where the color pops up, that's the spin that the model is picking up in the atmosphere. You see both of those go west. They're on the weaker side for the next couple of days. But really what I want to show you here is not so much where those storms are, it's what's steering it. And you see the blue color here, this upper low, it's about 15 to 20,000 feet above your head. Typically we like when they are hanging out in the southeast, it deflects everything, but you'll notice we get a little donut hole to develop over the southeast. it's going to try to cut off from the normal west to east flow. So rather than 100% push these out, it might actually try to nudge this back closer to land for a time until the jet stream itself can kick everything out. So that's kind of the shenanigans part of it that we're going to watch further down the line. To help the forecast out a little bit, hurricane hunters getting up into these things tomorrow, especially Invest 94L. That's the one closer to the Caribbean. First flights, the Air Force plane takes off tomorrow at 11 o'clock in the morning. Then we have the NOAA Gulf Stream. That's the smaller plane here. These ones fly at about 40 to 40,000 feet. That's going to sample the upper atmosphere. That's really going to help to hone down on the track of these things. And then Wednesday at 4 o'clock in the morning, we have a NOAA P3. That's that one right there. We're going to get a lot of extra information over the next couple of days to sample what's actually steering these in the interaction, the potential interaction between those two waves that are out there. Rain chances 50% Thursday and Friday, 60% shot for storms starting your weekend, guys.
Jonathan, thank you. Well, NASA and SpaceX are ready for a morning launch tomorrow from Florida's Space Coast.
In minutes, the satellites being sent into orbit, including one aimed at studying the sun. Plus, the U.S. News just dropped its 2026 college rankings, where some big Florida institutions landed on the list. That's next.
Coming up in the morning, fixing flooding in Volusia County.
Yeah, the local leader who says it's time for some real solutions and what he's planning to get feedback from those impacted the most.
Plus, it is getting busy in the tropics. Candace will have updates every 10 minutes.
We'll see you for News 6 mornings starting at 6.
Here's a live look at our Flight Orlando Delivering Hope camera. It's delivering some serious cloud cover today. You're watching News 6 at 5. We'll be right back.
NASA and SpaceX are gearing up for a morning rocket launch from the Kennedy Space Center. A Falcon 9 rocket will carry 3 important space weather missions to orbit, including IMAP, which will measure solar activity headed toward Earth. Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos talked with one of the senior scientists about the importance of understanding our sun.
It'll have explosions that come off the sun. You know, we're familiar with the term solar flares, but then there are also these coronal mass ejections where a lot of mass is ejected from the sun. And if that strikes the Earth, then it interacts with our magnetic field and energizes it, and it produces a beautiful aurora, but it also can have bad effects in terms of having additional radiation. It can impact our power grids, our communication systems, and so that's why we monitor the sun.
All 3 devices will lift off tomorrow morning on a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket at 7:30. You can watch that launch live on clickorlando.com.
Well, the U.S. News and World Report has just released its 2026 Best Colleges rankings, and many top schools are holding their ground. The publication looked at nearly 1,700 schools across the country. 8 of the top schools kept their #1 spots in their categories. The top national schools are the usual suspects: Princeton, MIT, and Harvard. The top public are Cal, Berkeley, UCLA, and the University of Michigan. Florida's public universities dominate again with a record-breaking 7 in the top 100 national rankings. University of Florida ranked pretty high for a public school at number 7, as did my alma mater, Florida State, at 21. University of Central Florida came in at 57, and the University of South Florida ranks 43. Florida International, by the way, is number 46.
Well, Ginger Gadsden is in the newsroom with what we are working on for News 6 at 6.
Lisa and Matt, today there was an emotional and sometimes explosive back and forth on dedicating a road to Charlie Kirk. The pushback from neighbors, and why one leader says it's not even a debate. Plus, a discussion happening right now could impact your property taxes, what an increase will mean for your wallet and your community. That's next. A live look now at downtown Orlando from our Light Orlando Delivering Hope camera. Well, you're looking at the sky, a lot of clouds out there. We'll be right back.
And let's look at
Are we at 3 minutes?
unite and not divide us, and that includes you, Mr. Sabatini.
And how dare you?
All right.
How dare you?
All right.
Disgusting.
An hours-long heated debate in Lake County where leaders want to dedicate part of a road to Charlie Kirk.
As Seminole County prepares to raise property taxes for the first time in nearly 2 decades, we're looking into not only how it impacts how much you pay, but what you get in return and if the people who live here think it's worth it.
This is bigger than big.
It has been at the center of controversy for decades. Now Eatonville is poised on reclaiming a historic school site. News 6 at 6 starts now.
Now to the hours-long debate between Lake County commissioners and neighbors. 3 people had to be escorted out.
Yeah, just a few hours ago, leaders decided to move forward with dedicating a road to Charlie Kirk. Your Lake County community correspondent Emily McLeod was there as tensions reached a boiling point.
In these dark dystopian times, let's remember Deputy Link, and let's look at
Are we at 3 minutes?
unite and not divide us, and that includes you, Mr. Sabatini.
How dare you use that deputy's name for your petty political argument? How dare you?
All right.
How dare you?
All right.
Disgusting. You're a disgusting person.
Tensions were high during the discussion over the installation of a permanent memorial for Charlie Kirk on Wellness Way in Lake County. Some in the audience not holding back, almost escorted out by Lake County Sheriff's deputies.
Should we really? What? Come on, you're going to have to be removed. You can't yell things. You just can't yell things. If you're going to talk, you have to fill out a speaker card.
Critics of Commissioner Anthony Sabatini's proposal calling for memorials to be dedicated to people who directly impacted and served the county, like Master Deputy Bradley Link.
There are many, many, many great Lake Countyans that we can honor. And I'll tell you this, Charlie Kirk ain't one of them.
Ahead of public comment, Commissioner Leslie Campione sharing her thoughts on the topic.
There are ways to honor people, and while apparently some of you in the room and some people that have written emails to us disagree that he should be honored, I am one that believes that somebody like that should be honored.
Sabatini says Kirk has led the largest civic revival of any American in the last 50 years.
And so I don't think that any normal, sane person would ever speak out against naming a significant road after somebody as great as Charlie Kirk. It's not even a debate.
Now, toward the end of the meeting, we were told by a security guard 3 people had been escorted out of commission chambers. Commissioner Leslie Campione said she wanted to get the vote done on Tuesday and not put it off any further because she never wanted to go through this again. Now, Commissioner Sabatini did adjust his proposal to place the memorial on Schofield Road, and commissioners voted 5-0 to approve that memorial on Schofield Road. Reporting in Tavares, I'm your Lake County community correspondent, Emily McLeod, News 6.
We are staying on top of breaking news now. We're working to figure out what caused this truck to catch fire on I-75 at the Hernando and Sumter County line. We can tell you that all lanes are closed, and this doesn't look much better than when we saw it a few hours ago. Here's a live look now at I-75. Actually, it does look a lot better.
Maybe the shoulder
Yeah. You can see they're starting to move through, and of course, as soon as we learn more about what actually happened to cause that truck to catch fire, we'll keep you updated on air and on clickorlando.com.
Now, even though we're in the second day of fall, happy fall, Ginger.
Is it?
Hope you're enjoying your UGG boots and your PSLs. The hurricane season remains active. We are tracking 2 tropical waves right now.
PSLs are pumpkin spice lattes.
Thank you. They knew what I was saying.
Meteorologist Jonathan Kegas joins us now with what we need to know. Jonathan.
Yeah, a lot of slang, I guess, here on the news tonight. We are watching 2 of these tropical waves. There, of course, Gabrielle, still Cat 4 hurricane tonight. That's moving up and out. So that's kind of off the radar, and it's been since last week. There are the 2 waves we're tracking. This one is going to stay away and out to sea. But the deal is it's likely going to influence where this wave is going, and that one's going to get a little closer to home, likely trying to develop as it gets closer to the Turks and Caicos and into the Bahamas as we get into the weekend, to the early stages of next work week. I'm cautiously optimistic that whatever forms here does stay off the Florida coast, but again, there's some shenanigans that are possible in the track because of what happens with this wave here and also convoluted steering upstream that's going to be hanging out over the deep south and lower 48 as we get into next week. We're going to talk much more about this. We'll show you some of the modeling coming up at about 6:17.
Jonathan, thank you. You can expect to pay more in property taxes in Seminole County. Your Seminole County community correspondent, Catherine Silver, looks at the tax hike as the commission gets ready to discuss it during their final budget hearing.
This was $250
to fill up your grocery
for 1
cart.
week. And this won't even be our dinner meals. This is just for my kids' lunches.
Anna Lillenquist is a mom of 4. Her husband works full-time. She watches the kids and cleans rental properties.
I just pick up odd and end jobs all the time, wherever I can.
Anything to make ends meet.
I saw family in there, 3 or 4 children. I'm going, my God, how is he affording all of this?
Gregory Krauser lives on a fixed income. He and his wife still feel lucky about what they can afford.
We know we're fortunate. We just worry.
These are just some of the stories, the people trying to get by and now getting ready to pay more property taxes. Commissioners here in Seminole County have a history of being fiscally conservative, but have told us before they've been relying on reserves for too long.
Our staff has been telling us for 2 or 3 years that this day was coming.
And as costs increase, the county has to keep up and plan for an uncertain future.
If you've ever been in a situation with our storms recently, roads and stormwater is a part of our public safety operation.
They call their decision not easy, but necessary.
Do we love the increase? No. Do I want higher taxes? No. Do I understand the need for it? Yes.
For nearly 2 decades, the property tax rate has remained the same. The county says with the new higher rate, the average homeowner can expect to pay about $144 more.
We got ours in the mail already, about ours going up, and then FPL went up 16%, and we're just waiting for our water bill to skyrocket as well. It does feel like it's all at once.
The county expects the tax hike will bring in $27 million more in revenue for its $1.2 billion budget. It won't be official until they vote here tonight. In Seminole County, I'm Catherine Silver, News 6.
In the 92-year history of the Florida Division of Alcoholic Beverages and Tobacco, no operation has been larger in yielding felony arrest than a recent crackdown on nitrous oxide. Your Orlando community correspondent Mike Valente was at the FDLE Operations Center this afternoon, where state leaders and law enforcement announced these arrests. Mike.
Yeah, Ginger, authorities say this undercover operation yielded 70 felony arrests and 16 warrants issued to retailers that were found to be selling nitrous oxide for recreational use. Nitrous oxide is a colorless gas that is sometimes colloquially referred to as laughing gas. It also has legitimate culinary purposes, but as the FDA warns, when inhaled to get high, it can cause serious health risks and even death. In Florida, selling 16 grams or more of nitrous oxide is a third-degree felony. Authorities say that in this operation, people who work at smoke shops were not only selling more than 16 grams to undercover agents, but they were providing instructions to agents on how to use it to get high. I know there are legitimate purposes to this, but a lot of people are probably wondering, why are they on the shelves of smoke shops? Because just having them there, the implicit understanding is that people are going to walk in, they're not buying them to make whipped cream fluffy, they're buying them for inhalation. So is there anything that you can do? Would it be lowering that legal threshold from 16 grams to ensure that people aren't buying it for that purpose?
Yeah, that would take legislation.
Do you think that's necessary?
It could be looked at and addressed, yes, because you're right. One thing is, why is there nitrous oxide being sold in a smoke shop? I'm sure the dentist doesn't go by there to the smoke shop to get his nitrous oxide for dentistry. An automotive shop doesn't go there, and neither does a chef or a cook. So you're right. It's obvious. It's the elephant in the room.
Earlier this year, we spoke to the family of a 29-year-old woman who died after suffering an overdose from inhaling nitrous oxide. Meg Caldwell's family was at this press conference today, and one of her sisters delivered an impassioned plea to retailers and manufacturers about the dangers of nitrous oxide. More on that part of the story coming up tonight at 10 and 11. For now, we're live outside the FDLE office in Orlando. I'm your Orlando community correspondent, Mike Valente, News 6.
Mike, thank you. Well, less than 2 weeks since an 83-year-old woman lost her life in a crash with a train, Brightline will get more than $42 million for more safety improvements. Your Rockledge community correspondent, James Sparvero, spoke to a former conductor who's experienced tragedies on the rails himself.
I'm back at US 1 and Eyster Boulevard after that horrific crash when police say 83-year-old Eleanora Mitchell drove through a crossing arm into the path of a Brightline train. That was September 12th. Monday, the U.S. Department of Transportation announced Brightline will get $42 million for safety improvements like fencing, crossing upgrades, and crisis support signs for those considering suicide.
And people think often they can just beat the train. They're in a hurry. They got to get home or get to work.
Mike Callanan was an Amtrak conductor. I asked if he thinks the grants can help stop these tragic incidents. Brightline spent millions on safety in the county before trains ever ran through Brevard. Or do you think there's always going to be that element of driver error?
I think the money could be used to improve rail safety and train awareness. However, you can't really put money on just people using common sense and being aware of their surroundings.
I wanted to interview Brightline for this story too, but when I asked, they directed me to their press release. In addition to the money the feds announced, local transportation officials have been working on making improvements at crossings too. You can read the full list from the Space Coast TPO on clickorlando.com. In Brevard County, I'm your Rockledge community correspondent, James Sparvero, News 6.
Well, a local town with a lot of history here in Central Florida is about to celebrate a big win.
This is more than a land deal. This is a legacy.
Why leaders say a potential multi-million-dollar agreement will protect Eatonville's legacy and restore hope in the community. That's next.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Advent Health, helping the communities we serve to feel whole.
Wanted to give you guys a heads up that we have a new severe thunderstorm warning. Been watching these cells kind of work their way down I-4. You'll see the polygon pop up here. Deep, deep purples. We'll likely some small hail around Apopka, especially on the south side of Apopka. We have the east and west coast sea breeze coming together, and that's really forcing up some thunderstorms to the west and northwest of the Orlando metro area. Again, let's zoom tight in here. Let me turn the loop off so you can see exactly where I'm talking about. And here's the south side of a town. So there's Main Street through Apopka, and south of that, closer to South Apopka, closer to the high school here. That's where we have the real heavy stuff, likely some hail showing up. You can see the black color showing up. That's the high reflectivity on the map. It's almost maxing out. So we're likely dealing with some hail just south of Cimarron Boulevard in parts of Apopka. This is on the south side of Apopka. Let me take you closer into Rossman Drive. Again, this is all in Apopka as we are dealing with this severe thunderstorm that is kind of just popped up here as these two sea breezes have come together. Not really a big severe weather day, but we often get these to pulse up like this whenever we have the sea breezes come together. This will continue to drift down towards the south. So this is going to be an early heads up in Paradise Heights into Ocoee as well, as this pretty much takes a trip right down the 429. We also have more development popping up closer to Pine Hills and Orla Vista. We're technically in the warning on the west side of Orla Vista, but that is for the cell just to your north, not the one that's hanging out closer to Orla Vista. So let's go back into Apopka, because that's where we have the strongest stuff going on right now. We're going to work out of the Tampa radar. We're going to turn the rainfall on. And right now we're worried about some big time rains, also the very potential for some at least small hail in the mix as we're watching these kind of cells merge together. Let me get you back to the actual radar picture, load this back up. And again, it's the deep dark purples that we're watching here. And again, this severe thunderstorm warning going to roll for parts of southern Seminole County and also Orange County tonight until 6:45. So about the next 30 minutes, we're going to be under the gun here. And really, this is exiting out to just south of Wekiva Springs State Park. And that's what we're going to be dealing with going forward. Again, the big deal that we are looking at going forward tonight is going to be the opportunity for some small hail and some stronger wind gusts just in this cell. Again, not looking at a big widespread severe weather event. You see here that most of us on the drier side, it's just really this one area, and that's going to be on the south side of Apopka. So that's going to be an early heads up. I'll turn the loop back on again so you can get this area one last time as it drifts from north to south. So this is an early heads up. Again, if you have to drive to Ocoee, that's going to be a heck of a ride again to going on the 429. But the biggest concern going to be the potential for some small hail south side of Apopka, and the potential for a quick damaging wind gust. I'll have my eye on this as we continue to move forward through the newscast tonight. But for now, we'll send it back to you guys.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. Well, News 6. We were the first local TV station to tell you this story this morning. After decades of back and forth, the city of Eatonville is poised to reclaim the historic Hungerford School site.
Yeah, this all hinges on a vote by the Orange County School Board next week. Here are the details I uncovered about the proposed deal. The property sits at the corner of Hungerford and Keller Road and has been in the crosshairs of controversy for decades.
This is bigger than big. When you have a town that for so many years, even decades, citizens have come to believe that nothing is going to happen.
Eatonville was founded in 1887 by formerly enslaved people. It is recognized as the first self-governing all-black municipality in the United States. It's also the hometown of world-renowned author Zora Neale Hurston, who immortalized the community in her classic writings. For generations, Eatonville has stood as a symbol of black independence, resilience, and cultural pride. People who live here have heard promises before.
We have been neglected for years.
Longtime residents like Michelle Fort says she's ready to see real change.
We want better for our home. We don't want a handout. We want somebody to partner in to say, we believe in what you believe in.
Mayor Gardner says this deal is different.
We've had developers come for that land before, but their ideas were for them. It wasn't for the town. It didn't reflect the town, and it just needed a yes or no from the town. And now we have a 100-year organization with a proven record of helping and partnering with communities that are saying, hey, we'll get it done for you.
Yeah.
That's huge.
That partner is Dr. Phillips Charities. Its chairman tells News 6 protecting Eatonville's legacy means more than just buying land.
We'll work very, very hard to make sure that there's little to no displacement of residents. We want to work with the mayor and her team to make sure that we increase the percentage of owner-occupied homes in this community, to stabilize this community, so that we protect the legacy and the history of Eatonville.
Under the agreement, Dr. Phillips Charities will pay $1 million up front. The rest of the purchase price is forgiven as milestones are completed. Year 2, pavilion for festivals and extensive green space. By year 3, Eatonville Early Learning Center with priority for residents and Hungerford Elementary staff members. And year 4, a community hub and healthcare facility. Mayor Gardner knows there will be naysayers who don't like this plan.
I'm the Chief Executive Officer, Mayor of the town of Eatonville. And that's my job, and that's what people hired me to do, to make the hard decisions. This is more than a land deal. This is a legacy.
And it's a legacy they really want to preserve in that community. And they have been fighting this not just for decades, but for generations now. The Orange County School Board is set to vote on the proposed deal September 30th. Mayor Gardner says she is finally ready to put years of anticipation into action. Of course, we'll keep a close eye on this and follow it at the school board meeting next week.
That is a big story. Good stuff, Ginger. Thank you. Sports Director Jamie Say is here. Jamie, the UCF football team, they're trying to work through their grief right now.
Oh my gosh. You know, such a sad story. It may linger through the season, right? UCF offensive line coach Sean Clark passed away on Sunday. Tributes continue to pour in. That's coming up. Plus, we talk a little Florida State football. And as we go to break, ESPN reports Tampa Bay Buccaneers star receiver Mike Evans could miss 3 to 4 weeks with a hamstring injury. Evans suffered it in the win over the Jets. The Bucs are off to a 3-0 start. Welcome back to News 6. Tomorrow, UCF head football coach Scott Frost will hold his weekly media availability. It was postponed yesterday as he and his team deal with the loss of offensive line coach Sean Clark. The 50-year-old husband and father of two passed away Sunday at an Orlando hospital. He had suffered a medical emergency 2 weeks ago. Now tomorrow, Frost will likely share how his players are coping as they prepare to play Kansas State this Saturday. And he'll share more about who Sean Clark was. A good coach, a good man. Clark positively impacted so many people, judging by all the social media posts and remembrances from football coaches and programs around the country over the last few days, including UCF's upcoming opponent.
My heart goes out to his family. My heart goes out to Coach Frost and the UCF athletic department football family. To go through something like that in season, I can't even imagine. But I know that they'll lift Sean up and play their tails off for him.
UCF and Kansas State kick off Saturday at noon in Manhattan, Kansas. It's the night's Big 12 opener. After Saturday's victory over North Carolina, UCF is 3-0, averaging 40 points a game. Kansas State is 1-3 with losses to Iowa State, Army, and Arizona. A Big 12 rival has fired its longtime football coach. Mike Gundy is out at Oklahoma State. The school announced that they parted ways today. Cowboys just lost to Tulsa on Saturday to drop to 1-2 on the season, but they were blown out by Oregon 69-3 on national TV just a few weeks ago. Gundy is an Oklahoma State alum and was the Cowboys head coach for 20 full seasons. The top-ranked offense in the country, belongs to Florida State. The Noles are averaging almost 630 yards per game, and those numbers have been helped out by their last two opponents, Kent State and East Texas A&M. But FSU is scoring the football, soaring to 3-0. They've got a tougher week this week, a short week. Florida State kicks off at Virginia Friday night in the ACC opener. The Cavs are 3-1.
First conference game, go. If you want to be in the conversation at the end, you better win the one that's in front of you. A hostile environment come Friday night, and against what I think has every bit of capabilities of a great football team from what Virginia has shown. Every minute's going to matter here on a short week.
Alrighty, guys, just want to give you an update here. Severe thunderstorm warning continues until 6:45. This is going to be for northwestern Orange County, extreme southern Seminole County. This is sliding through the south side of Apopka. The biggest threat with this is going to be some gusty winds, damaging winds potentially up to 60 miles an hour, and some small hail. The good news is it looks like there's a weakening trend with it. These things often just kind of pulse up really quick and pulse down. In the situation that we are in today, this is heading toward pretty much taking a trip south down the 429 tonight, so early heads up around Ocoee into Oakland, Winter Garden. Have my eyes on that for you guys for the rest of the evening.
All right, we're glad you have your eyes on it, Jonathan. Thank you. More news coming up at 9 o'clock on clickorlando.com and your News 6 streaming app.
Until then, have a good night. Bye.
I won't be able to do teases now. Okay, hold on. Let me just. We have to be really, really quick.
7 to 8, and it's 3, 2.
Rain chances staying elevated as we move through tomorrow, and the tropics are bubbling a bit. We'll have the latest on 2 tropical waves coming up tonight at 11. And we'll keep those.